that hits you. All that stuff just jumps out and just goes bam right in your nuts. Every guitar player that came out from that point on, no pun intended, tapped into the Eddie Van Halen style.
Con carisma, fulgor y atractivo sexual, la popularidad de Van Halen se remontó por todo el mundo. Llevaban el heavy metal por un nuevo viaje y todo el mundo era bienvenido, sobre todo las mujeres.
When Van Halen came over to the UK, they supported Black Sabbath on Black Sabbath's 10th anniversary tour. Now, can you imagine that? Sabbath, heavy metal gods, supported by these upstarts from America. Well, what's going to happen? Well, obviously, these upstarts from America are going to get no chance. In fact, it was Sabbath who had no chance. Every night on that tour, Black Sabbath were blown off by Van Halen. It was Eddie Van Halen playing out of his skin and David Lee Roth all over the place, like a mesmerizing figure.
Nobody has seen a frontman like Roth before. Roth's showmanship influenced a whole new generation of frontmen.
He's like a Liberace of rock and roll.
David Lee Roth wanted to appeal to the girls as much as the boys, and people loved him for it.
What you see on stage with Van Halen is only what you're going to find underneath the stage. And what you see backstage is probably what you're going to find upstairs in the hotel.
They were completely populist. Van Halen was for everybody. To say you like Van Halen, I mean, that's like saying you like pro football. It was the widest possible net for a rock band to have.
Van Halen hizo el heavy metal más popular que nunca antes. Una vez dado por muerto por críticos como Lester Bangs, la escena ahora prosperaba y también la música. La tercera propuesta del grupo, Women and Children First, salió en 1980. Probaría ser el año dorado del heavy metal.
1980 was magical. It's a magical year in the history of metal.
There was a lot of goodwill for this kind of music around at that time.
Punk played itself out, and heavy metal, meanwhile, coalesced into something modern and important at that moment.
This was the year that a lot of awesome albums came out.
Judas Priest put out British Steel.
Lightning to the Nations by Diamond Head.
AC/DC did Back in Black.
Motorhead put out Ace of Spades, which was a huge deal.
Saxon's Wheels of Steel.
Great albums. Ozzy did Blizzard of Oz and discovered Randy Rhoads. So much happened in that year. And for so many bands, it was time to make their mark.
Este fue literalmente el caso para el ex hombre principal de Rainbow, Ronnie James Dio. Tocando de soporte para Ozzy Osbourne en la principal banda de rock de heavy metal fue razón suficiente para crear su propia identidad. Nunca se imaginó que su rúbrica personal vendría a definir al heavy metal como ninguna otra cosa.
I joined a band that had a singer who did this all the time, who thought he was Richard Nixon. I didn't want to be Richard Nixon, or did I want to be Ozzy? I didn't want to be that. I wanted to do something that was special to me. All respect.
I call it the universal metal sign.
Well, my grandmother used to do it. She's born in Italy and didn't speak a lot of English and had her superstitions. So she stopped the evil eye. I got it. Or you can give the evil eye that way, too. You can do it. It's an antenna both ways. Works both ways. And I see her do it all the time. It's called the Moloch, as M-O-L-O-C-H, which is the devil.
I think it's been glorified over the years into this evil, satanic sign. I mean, I remember even in the decline of the Western civilization, some lady was saying it's 666. There's a 6 here, there's a 6 here.
And a 6 here, which represents the 666 in the book of Revelations in the Bible.
It's like, come on, man. I think this means I love you in sign language.
It's not just that. I mean, I found all different kind of ways to do it, to create letters with it, to do all kinds of amazing things with it.
You got the single, which is this, and you got the double, and then you got too much metal for one hand, you know?
It's like, for instance, when you say the word Slayer, when people would go up to me and they say, dude, you should play more Slayer, they never said that. They would always say, dude, play more Slayer!
Well, you know, it was meant for a purpose. I tried to create it within the confines of the band Black Sabbath, in the evilness that was supposed to be that band. And now it's crossed over into everything.
Para 1981, el heavy metal se había transformado en una creciente comunidad con su propia identidad. Dio le había dado un saludo, Priest un aspecto, Maiden una mascota. El heavy metal tenía su propio baile, sacudir la cabeza. Cuando Van Halen no solamente lo convirtió en una fiesta, sino que invitó a venir a las chicas, el metal estaba bien posicionado para la revolución que estaba por ocurrir.
Ladies and gentlemen, rock and roll.
We're Def Leppard. There's only one way to hear us right on MTV, in stereo. Stay tuned for details.
MTV came out, we embraced it fully. We said, no, we're more Duran Duran than we are Black Sabbath.
I know bands, all they wanted to do was get a video on MTV.
The explosion of heavy metal really did have a lot to do with the advent of videos on television. Heavy metal was a natural fit for rock video because of its emphasis on the visual.
MTV first hit the airwaves August 1st, 1981.
I'm Mark Goodman.
I'm Alan Hunter.
I'm Martha Quinn.
I'm J.J. Jackson.
I'm Nina Blackwood.
MTV was the national radio station. I mean, people tuned in to MTV to see the new bands.
Here you had a visual medium that was looking for something to put on the screen. And Supertramp and Joe Jackson just weren't doing it. Matter of fact, that was the end of their careers. People got to look at them and said, oh my God, put the camera back on Joe Jackson's shoes.
Back at the moon.
We were giving a show and visually driven without the video cameras on. So MTV said, well, this is ready-made.
I would say the first band that got airplay on MTV that really broke out, that is considered in the quote-unquote heavy metal genre, would be Def Leppard.
MTV Def Leppard interview, 22/12/1982.
Siguiendo los pasos de Iron Maiden, Def Leppard fue el siguiente gran suceso en la nueva ola del heavy metal británico. Pero ellos también poseían el brillo y la buena apariencia de Van Halen. Fue la combinación perfecta para la naciente MTV.
We weren't like Black Sabbath or Maiden. We felt we was more like, say, AC/DC or even more like the Stones. Nothing to do with metal at all, really, except the fact that we played loud electric guitars. You know, MTV came out, we embraced it fully. I know there were some bands that go, oh no, we're radio bands and we're going to stick to our cause. We said, no, we're more Duran Duran than we are Black Sabbath.
High and Dry de 1981 fue la primera estocada de Leppard con un sonido más esencial que ganaron al dejar su hogar de Sheffield, Inglaterra, y unirse con el productor de AC/DC, Mutt Lange, quien tenía más ideas para el próximo álbum de la banda.